Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm SK Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. Today, I'm excited to present to you on the topic of audit preparation. This will be the first slide of our session, so I want to start by setting the stage. We'll be exploring key aspects of preparing for an audit, including best practices and essential steps. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through what you need to know to ensure a smooth and successful audit process. So let's get started. Today, we're focusing on the day of the audit, but before we get there, it's important to understand what happens before the day of the audit. An audit, in essence, is a systematic, independent, and well-documented process. It's designed to objectively evaluate whether activities, processes, systems, or records are in compliance with established standards, procedures, and regulatory requirements. The key points to remember are that an audit is thorough, unbiased, and carefully recorded. This ensures that the findings are reliable and that everyone involved understands what's being assessed. Connecting this to the overall theme, a successful audit depends heavily on preparation and understanding what the process entails, so that when the day arrives, everything runs smoothly. Basically, an audit isn't just about finding faults. It's about verifying that everything is in order and compliant, helping us maintain integrity and continuous improvement. Now, let's talk about the day of the audit itself. But before the actual day arrives, there's an important phase to consider, what we call the before the day of the audit. This phase is all about preparation and ensuring everything is in place. When we say the process should be systematic, we mean it has to be conducted in a planned and structured manner. This isn't a spontaneous review. It's carefully organized so that nothing gets overlooked. It's also essential that the audit is independent. This means the auditors performing the review should be unbiased and not directly involved in the activities being audited. Their objectivity is crucial to maintain credibility and trust in the process. Next, the process must be documented. Every piece of evidence we gather needs to be reviewed, recorded, and reported. Proper documentation ensures transparency and provides a clear record of what was checked and found. The focus of the audit is objective. That's a key point. It's all about facts, data, and compliance with standards rather than opinions or assumptions. We want to base our conclusions on solid evidence. It's also evaluative. This means we compare what's actually happening on the ground with the approved standards, whether that's SOPs, GMP guidelines, or regulatory requirements. Finally, an outcome-based approach is vital. The goal is to identify strengths, gaps, and noncompliances, but also to find areas where we can continually improve. It's about learning and enhancing our processes, not just checking boxes. All these elements together set the foundation for a thorough, fair, and effective audit process. Let's talk about documentation readiness. First, it's essential to ensure that all SOPs, policies, and quality documents are not only up to date, but also properly approved and easily accessible. This helps us avoid any last-minute scrambling during the audit. Next, our master documents, like the quality manual, site master, and file validation master plan, need to be well organized and properly indexed. This makes it straightforward to find what we need quickly. We also have to confirm that training records, equipment calibration, qualification, and maintenance records are readily available. These are critical to demonstrate that our equipment and personnel are compliant and trained properly. Additionally, all batch manufacturing records and logbooks should be complete, thoroughly reviewed, and signed off. This shows our processes are consistent and under control. And finally, data integrity is a cornerstone, adhering to ALCOA plus principles. We need to verify that all records are accurate, legible, contemporaneous, original, and attributable, ensuring the integrity of our data throughout. Keeping these points in mind helps us confidently prepare for the audit and showcase our commitment to quality and compliance. Now, let's talk about what needs to happen before the day of the audit, specifically focusing on compliance verification. This step is crucial because it helps us identify any gaps in our processes early on. I recommend conducting an internal audit or self-inspection. Think of it as a mock audit to see where we stand. During this review, We want to verify that we're fully adhering to CGMP, WHO GMP, and good documentation practices, as well as any other regulatory guidelines that apply. It's also important to ensure that all corrective and preventive actions, or CAPAs, are either closed out or have a solid justification if they're still pending. This demonstrates that we're actively managing issues rather than leaving them unresolved. Additionally, we should review completed change controls, deviations, out-of specifications, out-of trends, and risk assessments. This comprehensive review helps us ensure that everything is properly documented and that we're in compliance with the standards required for a successful audit. Remember, thorough preparation like this not only smooths the audit process, but also reinforces our commitment to quality and compliance. Let's now focus on facility and equipment preparation. It's crucial that the premises are clean, well-maintained, and fully compliant with all regulations before an audit. This means checking that the entire facility meets cleanliness standards and that everything is in good working order. We also need to verify equipment calibration stickers, ensuring they are current and properly displayed. Identification labels should be clear and accurate, and all equipment logs must be up to date. These details demonstrate that our equipment is reliable and properly maintained. Next, it's important to confirm that all controlled areas, such as the warehouse, dispensing, manufacturing, packing, quality control, and utilities, are audit-ready. These areas should be tidy, organized, and free of any discrepancies that could raise questions during the audit. Housekeeping and safety compliance are also key. Make sure PPE is available and used correctly, spill kits are accessible, and MSDS are up to date and properly stored. Fire safety measures should be in place and functional. All these preparations help us present a facility that is not just compliant, but also ready to demonstrate our commitment to quality and safety during the audit. Remember, a well-prepared facility reflects our dedication to maintaining high standards every day. Now, let's move on to the next part of our preparation, day of audit, specifically before the day of the audit. One of the key aspects here is sample and material readiness. It's crucial to ensure that all materials are properly segregated. This means keeping raw materials separate from packaging materials, in-process materials, finished products, as well as rejected and returned goods. Proper segregation helps in quick identification and prevents mix-ups during the audit. Additionally, we need to verify that all materials have the correct status labeling. Whether it's approved, rejected, or under test, these labels should be clear and accurate. This not only streamlines the audit process, but also reflects well on our organization's attention to detail. Remember, thorough preparation before the audit day sets the tone for a smooth and successful review. Ensuring these points are addressed helps demonstrate our commitment to quality and compliance. Before the day of audit, it's crucial to focus on team preparation. First, we need to establish an audit coordination team, making sure each member has clear responsibilities. This helps ensure everyone knows what they're responsible for during the audit process. Next, conducting mock audit interviews with responsible personnel is highly beneficial. It gives your team a chance to practice answering questions confidently and precisely, reducing nervousness and improving overall performance. It's also important that all staff fully understand their standard operating procedures, or SOPs, and their specific job responsibilities. When everyone is clear on what's expected, the audit process becomes much smoother. Furthermore, preparing your team to answer auditors' questions confidently is key. Practice makes perfect, so rehearsing typical questions and appropriate responses is highly recommended. Lastly, don't forget to finalize your audit route and arrange the conference room ahead of time. Having everything mapped out and organized will help the audit day run seamlessly. All these steps are about setting a solid foundation, so that when the day arrives, your team can handle the audit process efficiently and with confidence. All right, let's talk about what to do before the day of the audit. First, you'll want to prepare the audit agenda. This helps everyone stay on track and ensures all key topics are covered. Next, create a document request tracker. This is crucial so you can keep tabs on all the documents the auditors will need. Make a list of SMFs, VMPs, policies, and key SOPs. Having these organized and accessible demonstrates your readiness and transparency. Now, on the logistical side, you'll need to arrange the meeting room in advance, ensuring it's comfortable and suitable for discussions. Don't forget to set up the projector or laptop so presentations or data sharing go smoothly. Also, prepare visitor access cards for the auditors, making their entry seamless. And of course, consider refreshments. Small snacks and drinks can make the environment more welcoming. Finally, inform security and reception about the auditor's arrival details. This way, they're expecting your guests and can facilitate a smooth check-in process. All these preparations are vital to set a professional tone and ensure the audit runs efficiently. Remember, thorough planning beforehand is key to a successful audit experience. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're here to start the audit process with a welcoming and productive opening meeting. First, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our audit team. It's important we establish a good relationship from the start so we can work efficiently together. During this meeting, we'll begin with a brief introduction of our company. This helps set the context for the audit and ensures everyone understands our core operations. Following that, we'll go over our organization chart. This provides clarity on the structure and helps the auditors know who's responsible for what. Next, I'll give a quick overview of our facilities and processes. This isn't meant to be exhaustive, but it highlights the key areas and workflows that are relevant to the audit. It's a chance to align expectations and clarify any initial questions. We'll also review the audit schedule and scope. This ensures everyone is aware of the timeline, what areas will be covered, and what the objectives are. Clear communication here is vital to keep the process smooth. Lastly, I will assign a coordinator who will serve as the main point of contact between the auditors and our departments. This person will help facilitate communication, schedule meetings, and address any immediate concerns that may arise. So, as we move forward, keep in mind that this opening meeting sets the tone for a transparent and collaborative audit process. It's about making sure everyone is on the same page and comfortable throughout. Now, let's proceed with these points, and please feel free to ask any questions along the way. Now, moving on to the day of the audit, let's focus on what happens before the actual audit begins. First, it's crucial to have all your documents ready and available. Make sure you provide these documents promptly and organize them neatly so that auditors can review them easily. To keep track of what has been requested, use a document request register or tracker. This helps ensure nothing gets overlooked. It's also important to remember that only trained and designated personnel should speak on specific topics during the audit. This maintains consistency and accuracy in the information provided. When responding to questions, be clear, concise, and truthful. There's no need to share unnecessary details. Stick to the facts to present a transparent and professional image. By following these guidelines, you set a positive tone for the audit process and demonstrate your organization's commitment to compliance and cooperation. Let's move on to the facility tour. It's essential to ensure that all areas are clean, compliant, and properly labeled. This helps maintain a controlled environment and supports our quality standards. As we walk through, I'll demonstrate the personnel hygiene practices and gowning procedures. These are critical steps to prevent contamination and ensure safety. I'll also explain each process step by step, following our approved SOPs. This way, everyone understands the correct procedures and maintains consistency. Remember, avoid touching any equipment or opening containers unless I specifically request or permit it. Keeping these precautions helps us prevent contamination and maintain the integrity of our processes. This tour is a key part of the audit because it shows our commitment to compliance, cleanliness, and safety at every stage. Now, moving on to slide 13, which covers interviews and demonstrations. Here, it's important that key personnel are fully prepared to handle several critical aspects of the audit. First, They should be ready to explain standard operating procedures clearly and confidently. This means being able to walk through your processes and demonstrate your understanding thoroughly. Additionally, they need to have exhibits ready, such as logbooks, records, and proofs of training. These documents are essential to verify your compliance and operational integrity. It's also important to be prepared for on-the-spot demonstrations. For example, you might be asked to show how line clearance is performed or how sampling is done. The key is to answer confidently, always referring back to your documents when necessary. This not only shows your preparedness, but also builds confidence in your audit responses. Remember, the goal is to demonstrate a thorough understanding of your processes and compliance standards directly and transparently. When handling observations during an audit, it's really important to listen carefully and avoid getting into arguments. We want to understand the concern fully before reacting. If there are questions or clarifications needed, provide factual explanations supported by controlled documents. This helps keep the process transparent and credible. Make sure to note all observations in the audit observation record so nothing gets overlooked. If immediate corrective actions are possible and appropriate, offer those right away. But if they require more evaluation, just assure the team that proper follow-up will be taken. Remember, the goal is to handle observations professionally and constructively, ensuring the audit process remains smooth and effective. This approach ties back to our overall theme of maintaining integrity and continuous improvement throughout the audit. Now, as we approach the conclusion of the audit, let's talk about the closing meeting. This is a crucial moment where we summarize all the audit findings, highlighting the key points and insights we've gathered. I'll share the auditor's comments, emphasizing any notable observations or recommendations. We'll also discuss immediate corrective steps, if there are any actions that need to be taken right away to address issues identified during the audit. It's important to be transparent and proactive at this stage. I'd like to take a moment to thank the audit team for their valuable feedback and contributions throughout the process. Their insights are essential for continuous improvement. Finally, we'll collect the official audit report or set a schedule for receiving it later, ensuring everyone has access to the documentation needed for follow-up and record-keeping. This closing step helps us wrap up the audit smoothly and prepares us for the next steps forward. Now, let's look at the post-audit activities, which are crucial for closing the loop on the audit process. First, in CAPA preparation, we need to evaluate each observation carefully using root cause analysis, or RCA. This helps us identify the underlying issues rather than just addressing surface problems. Once we've pinpointed the root causes, we prepare and submit a corrective and preventive action plan, CAPA, that clearly defines responsibilities, sets realistic timelines, and includes evidence to support our actions. It's equally important to monitor the progress of the CAPA, ensuring that actions are completed and that their effectiveness is verified through follow-up checks. This step ensures that the issues are truly resolved and don't recur. Moving on to management review, we present the audit outcomes to senior management. This is a key step because it not only keeps leadership informed, but also helps in making strategic decisions. We use this review to plan long-term improvements and preventive actions, ensuring that lessons learned are integrated into our processes. By focusing on these post-audit activities, we reinforce a culture of continuous improvement and ensure that audit findings lead to meaningful, lasting change across the organization. For further support, please contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. Don't hesitate to reach out. Your success is our priority. Thank you very much for your time and attention today.